Every other week I get someone that calls me up, says they want to buy land to build an RV park, or ask me how to start an RV park. And my honest answer really surprises them, I think. Because in this market, you probably shouldn't build one, not in this climate, not because it's a bad investment. Some are excellent investments, especially if they're in the right location. But building right now is one of the hardest and most expensive ways to own an RV park. And there's a smarter play out there, there's a smarter way, and one number that tells you if a deal is actually worth it. If you're serious about getting into or finding an RV park, whether this is your first time buying an RV park or you're a seasoned investor, we're going to be talking about building versus buying an RV park and what number makes it actually worth it. And if you find this helpful, please subscribe. I break down real asset classes like this every month, break down real market numbers every month. So let's get into it. Okay, so here's what happened. In 2021 and 2023, RV parks were built everywhere. Cheap money, money was cheap, low interest rates, and a travel boom that made RV parks seem like a can't miss play. And a lot of people made a lot of money. So people built and a lot of people built. The market got oversaturated, and now you can throw a rock in Central Texas and hit an RV park. And that building boom is the exact reason that the opportunity today looks different than it did 3 to 5 years ago. And why cities are making it harder and not easier to add one inside their city limits or even the county limits. And that's the one thing nobody tells you about when you're building from scratch. The city might not even want you to do it because there's so many RV parks now in Central Texas and South Texas, really. A lot of cities and counties in Central Texas and South Texas don't want another RV park in the area, in their growth path. RV parks carry this historical stigma, and after the flood of new RV parks, no pun intended, the local government started tightening their ordinances to slow it down. So let me break this down using my own city, Belton, as the example. This is straight from the Belton's code, and it's a real picture of what just build one actually involves. So before you build, you have to file a site plan with the city. It goes before the Planning and Zoning Commission for a public hearing where they can straight out refuse you, reject your plans. And on top of that, you need a separate license and a permit before one single shovel hits that dirt. And the physical requirements get just as demanding. So in Belton, they say 20 sites per acre, and usually any developer or seasoned investor or RV park owner, anywhere from 8 to 12 spaces is general rule of thumb. 20 sites per acre sounds very generous, right? But that number drops fast once you account for everything else the code requires. So let me just read this for you. Every site has to be at least 1,500 square feet. You need hard surface private streets, minimum 20 foot wide, with a 100-foot turning circle at any dead end. Fire hydrants no more than 500 feet from any site. So that means you may need multiple fire hydrants throughout the whole facility on a 6-inch looped water line. And 8% of the whole site is set aside for open space. Now, you also have to have toilets, showers, lavatories as set on the set ratios. And if you're within 200 feet of a sewer main, you are required. Isn't the worst thing, which yes, that's a lot of upfront money, but when you go to sell that park, most seasoned investors, that is their top 3 question is, does it have city utilities? Is it on septic or the city sewer? That adds a significant amount of value. Now here's the other half of the building problem. To be a competitive RV park in today's climate, location matters more than anything. You have to be near a highway, some main attraction, a job center, something driving demand to your RV park. And now land in those top locations like that is expensive. And if you find affordable enough land to make the numbers work, usually there's a reason for that. It's too far out, it's too remote, you're too far out from any demand that fills the park, which requires extra marketing. So you have to spend more money from your NOI to market the property to get people's eyeballs on your RV park. And that squeezes you from both ends. Your NOI is less, which creates less value on your RV park, and you're also having to spend more money on marketing. The good land is too expensive. The good land is too expensive to pencil out right now, and the affordable land is too remote to compete with any of the other RV parks. That's the trap for most people that are first-time investors on RV parks wanting to build an RV park don't actually realize until they start doing the numbers and actually looking at land pricings and cost prices. Which brings me to what experienced buyers are actually doing instead of this. Here's one of the most crucial numbers that matter, the one that RV park owners are using right now. So the rule of thumb right now is to build an RV park, it costs $50,000 per space, give or take. If you want the high-end, nice ones, right? That's your replacement cost. So when you see an RV park listed for sale and you start to evaluating one of them, you have to ask this one question: how much would it cost to build that RV park today in today's market? How much would it build it again from scratch, from ground up right now? See, most listings right now that I see are in the $50,000 to $60,000 range per space, which is at or above replacement costs, which means you'd be paying as much or more to buy it than it costs to rebuild it yourself, minus all the permitting headaches and all that, right? But still. So the deals right now worth looking at, depending on if they have the full build out, curbside, asphalt, concrete borders, concrete pads, the whole 9 yards. The deals worth looking at are under $50,000 replacement mark, because at that point you're buying existing, operating, income already in place. You're going to get paid as soon as you buy it. The very next month, that is your income. Permitting in place, all of this for less than it would cost to build that RV park brand new. So here's the part that's really creating a lot of opportunity right now. So I've been watching the RV park market for about 2 years now, and more parks are starting to be listed below that $50,000 per space mark. And a lot of them are relatively new, built in 2021, 22, and 23, right at that boom. So why would a 2 to 3 year old park sell below replacement costs? One word: financing. So a lot of those parks built in 21 to 23 were built on loans with balloon payments. That's how commercial loans work. You may have a 20 to 30 year term, but every 5, 7, or 10 years, it's called a balloon payment, and that's when the full amount of the note is due. So you either have to sell the property, or you could refinance at today's interest rate. So a lot of those parks are getting an interest rate at 3.5% to 4.5%. Well, now they're going to have to refinance that loan at an 8% interest rate. Comment below if you want me to create a video about how commercial loans work and the valuation of each RV park. And now, because the economy is a little bit tighter, not as many people are traveling, so all of those RV parks NOI has dropped. It's not uncommon to see an RV park's occupancy at 60% when historically they're anywhere from 88 to 98%, anywhere in that area, in that 10% drop. Now I'm seeing more and more at 60%, which means that their NOI isn't as much, which means that they're not going to be able to support the next loan. They can't pay off the first loan because the NOI is too low, so they won't be able to refinance. So all of that pressure creates a motivated seller with a deadline. They're going to have to sell this property. Now the banker may push the deadline down the road as he sells the property because they don't want to manage the thing. So when a balloon payment hits and the owner cannot refinance it or doesn't want to, they have to sell it. So that's a motivated seller, and a motivated seller with a deadline on a newer park listed at below replacement cost is the kind of deal seasoned buyers are looking for right now. So if this is your first time kind of getting into RV parks, here's the most honest path in this market. Don't try to build one. Between permitting, the ordinances, the land costs, the infrastructure, the oversaturated market, Building is one of the hardest and most expensive ways to get into the RV park game right now. So instead, learn how to evaluate existing parks, anchor everything in the replacement costs, $50,000 per space, anywhere from $35,000 to $50,000 per space is your target range. When you're in the $35,000 per space range, rock or caliche road on the ground. If you're on the $50,000 per space, you have the full tilts. Everything is nice and neat. So above a replacement cost, you're usually overpaying for that RV park. Below replacement cost, especially on a newer park, and a balloon payment coming due, you might be looking at a real opportunity. And one more thing, know your local rules before you make an offer on any RV park, because what a city like Belton requires directly affects how much that RV park is actually worth. So if you're not ready to move yet, you're just getting into it, or you'd like to scan the market a little more, that's totally fine. Subscribe, follow along. I break down land deals and RV park storage facility deals and the real numbers every single month on this channel. But if you're actively looking for an RV park and want to have someone run, evaluate the RV park for you and tell you what it's actually worth and if that deal actually makes sense, text me right here. My number is going to be right there. Or you can book a call with me. There's going to be a link in the description below. And if you want to learn how to evaluate an RV park in Texas, you can watch this video right here. I broke down how to evaluate RV parks in Texas and what that means for your NOI. I'm Trent Babb, Ranch Roads Land and Commercial Specialist. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one.